and welcome to Team Journey TC. You're here with Taya. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet and leave a like for more media commentaries. Okay. We are going to be talking about the show. It seems to be on everyone's mind. Avatar. Dude, Avatar, love it. Okay, for those that don't know, Avatar recently came out on Netflix, so everyone is watching it, of course. And now I feel like I should say that I hadn't watched the show before it came out on Netflix, and I also haven't finished the show quite yet. I have, of course, finished season 1 as I'm making this video, and I thought it wouldn't make much sense if I had seen the whole thing, because I'm planning on also giving you a season 2 review and a season 3 review. And right now I'm about halfway through season 2, and I decided this show is just too good for me not to make these videos. And yeah, but without further ado, let's get into why season 1 is so great. So there are two topics. The first one we're going to be talking about is the characters. And if I'm being completely honest, the characters are probably the weaker part of the two big things that I thought were amazing. Of course, Iroh is the best character in the whole show, and no one can tell me different. And I say that it's weaker because a lot of these characters are kind of whiny and annoying. And though this detracts a bit from the viewing experience, you kind of, and you kind of want to root against them. It makes sense that they would be whiny, seeing as their characters are from, I think, 12 to 16. Well, technically 112, but just 12 to 16. And as an adolescent, I can tell you that we're whiny all the time. And all of these characters are unique, and they have their own personal motivation. Aang wants to become an avatar because he feels like it's what he's always supposed to do. And despite being technically 112, he still has the mindset of a 12-year-old, and that means a lot of responsibility placed on him that he can't accomplish, which makes him want to have fun time and goof around. Katara doesn't know bending and wants to follow Aang in hopes that she will learn. Zuko arguably has the most growth in the first season, and yeah, I know he's going to have an even greater arc later, but at the beginning he's both rude towards his uncle and obsessed with finding the Avatar, while his obsession makes sense, seeing as he wants to return home, he learns that the safety of his crew is more important, and he learns to work with and respect his uncle. While I briefly talked about the character motivations, another thing this show does remarkably well is making sure that its characters have one clear goal, which shows you the direction the season is headed. This is why this season in particular is so good, and why I think it's the best one of the show. I can't comment on season 3 yet, but whatever. And no, I'm not talking about Zuko's one clear goal of finding the Avatar. That would have worked if he didn't find the Avatar on like 20 different occasions. So since he's found him so often, we're not building up to this big confrontation between the two of them. The one clear goal that keeps the story going is probably one that you might not have even noticed, but it's they are always heading towards the Northern Water Tribe. No matter what island they stop at or whatever hijinks ensue, the season doesn't feel like it's come to a halt because we know it's all part of the adventure of them heading towards the Northern Water Tribe. You know where the show is pulling you, so you don't feel lost when it stops to take a break. Like, you know where you're going to be going, which keeps you from feeling bored, which is helpful. Okay, and now I'm going to talk about is the jokes in this season. I thought I'd finished talking about this because it's something is honestly it's not that important to the overall thing of the show. So yeah, if you want to stop watching the video and subscribe now, I'm not necessarily opposed to that. You can totally do that. So I know a lot of people find the show hilarious, but like, I kind of don't. While I think it's very clever and it doesn't rely on stupid humor such as like poop jokes or like slapstick or whatever, I didn't really find myself laughing. It's an investing story that keeps you happy, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's more screaming, "You go girl," or "I hate you," rather than laughing. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, and I don't see why everyone found it so funny. The things I found the things I found humorous in a sense weren't so much laugh out loud funny. It was just like either I could relate it to my own life if I was in fact laughing, or I just thought that it I was more just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But if you do find this show funny, I strongly approve of the humor used. I think it's mostly designed to be intelligent, and despite this being a kid show, I think that what they did in terms of their writing and in terms of the way that they worked with their characters was really more of an adult take on it. You know, and typically with kids shows, you see very simple stories with not that are not that complex. And of course, there are exceptions. We're literally talking about one right now. But I'm just saying in general, typically when you see a kids show, you expect it to be loud and it to be like all over the place, and it makes sense. You know, it's a kids show. But considering this is a kid show, I was thoroughly impressed when I watched it, especially since I have no nostalgia towards it. In fact, I almost had anti-nostalgia for it because everyone was talking about it, and I felt bad because I hadn't seen it. So I was kind of like, oh, I hope it sucks. Like I don't want to watch it. But then I watched it, and my jaw dropped, and I, as a 14-year-old, still fell in love with this show. So if that speaks nothing to it, I think it should speak volumes. And typically tend to lean towards the positive reviewer side, but I'm just saying if that doesn't speak volumes, so that a kid show can get a 14-year-old this invested, I am you don't want to know how vested I am in the show. And it's different from teenage investment like other things. It's not like Riverdale or Vampire Diaries or whatever, where they're invested because they're like, oh, I just want to watch the hot guy do stuff or whatever, and I'm a dumb adolescent. I recognize those shows as what they are. I'm invested in them, sure, and I like them, but I don't see them as having anything deeper, anything impressive to them. I kind of just see them as noise, and I like the noise, but it's just noise. Whereas this show, truly, I think everyone should take a watch on it. Dude, there's so many videos I could make on this. I could do one per season, obviously, and then you could literally talk about any singular character psychology, and that could be an hour-long video. I'm actually surprised that this video is so short, considering how much that there is to say about this show. But I think I'll leave you pretty much with that. Uncle Iroh is the best character ever. I love that man. If he dies, I will literally go into a depressive state. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm going to cut that out. If he dies, I will literally mourn him. I will cry for 3 days as though he were a real person in my life who has died. I'm not even kidding. I love him that much. He is amazing. So I recommend, if for nothing else, watch the show just for him, or watch the show just because Zuko's hot. I don't care why you watch the show, because once you start watching the show, you'll see why you should have always been watching the show. There you go. There's my attempt at deep speak towards you. Anyway, why am I still here? Dude, it's late at night and I kind of sound kind of dead, but it kind of flows with some of the characters, honestly. I could be a character in Avatar. Dude, if they want to hire me for season 4, when Netflix reboots it, I'm down. Dude, I'd make such a good Azula or May, just saying. Netflix. Well, you know what? Give this video a like, and then maybe Netflix will see it and they will hire me because I would be so good in the role. So, yeah, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next time. Bye!